who's starting where. Kenny Irwin Jr. is on the pole, and Jimmy Sills will start alongside. Tony Stewart and Dave Steele comprise row 2. The third row, Rocky Hodges and Dan Drinan. Fourth row, Davey Hamilton and Robbie Flock. Ryan Newman and Pat Boulder in row 5. The sixth row, Mike Bliss and Steve Barth. Row 7, Mishner and Hewitt. In the eighth row, Dave Darlin and Jim Keeker. Row number 9, Gary Irvin and Jackie Burke. The 10th row, Tracy Hines and Chuck Gurney. Now those who made it in through the qualifying races. Randy Tolzman, Brian Tyler. 12th row, Donnie Beechler and Eric Gordon. In the 13th row, Andy Mishner and Tony Elliott. Row number 14, Paul Durant and Gary Heber. The 15th row, Kenneth Nichols and Bill Bowie. And we are just about set to go in about a lap and a half from right now.
Yeah, and here's Danny Drinan, the 23 car. This guy, after all the tough breaks he's had, he's 1993 Valvoline, Jimmy Crothers award winner. But I'll tell you what, after that crash at the Speedway, a lot of guys didn't think this guy was going to be back for a year or more. He worked very hard. He went through rehab. He's worked every day on that hip, trying to get it working again so he can get back in a race car. That was his whole goal, and this is his first outing. 100 laps is a long race to break your hip in, so to speak.
That's for sure. Mike Bliss, you know his performance here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. He has won 2 races this year in this series, including one here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, and there's a bonus, a $10,000 bonus if he can win here tonight.
Current Express put up the money. They could not buy insurance. You know, hole-in-one insurance, they tried to buy a policy. But Bliss has been so dominant here, and nobody would insure it. So good old Randy Steenbergen from Current Express says, I'm a gambler, I'll put her up.
Here we go, the DuPont 100 underway from Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Oh, and Jimmy Sills got real squirrely going down that main straightaway. He was doing tank slappers all the way down there, but got it under control, and it could have been real bad if he'd have got just a little bit more sideways. In front of the field, we got a big crash back here coming off the 2.
2 cars, at least 2 cars. We'll make that 3, 4, maybe even 5 cars involved in this incident on the backstretch, and the caution flag comes out. We got cars everywhere.
Looks like Gary Irvin and Jim Keeker up against the wall.
Oh.
There's Gary Heber down on the inside. They hit the butt end of that wall. Looks like he hit a wall down there. Hit it pretty hard. That's Gary Heber in the 66 car. He's out of the car.
I don't know who they're attending to. Can you see the number on that car?
No, I can't. I think that might be Bill Rose.
Yeah, I think
it looks like Bill Rose's car, the 27.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Raceway Park and the DuPont 100. We're exactly a quarter of the way through. 25 laps completed out of 100. The leader is Kenny Irwin Jr., followed by Tony Stewart. And these 3 cars battling for position, but they are not on the lead lap. That is Gary Heber. And who else?
Eddie Bowie, or
Bill Bowie.
Bill Bowie. Eddie's his father. Sorry about that, Ed, Bill. And Kenneth Nichols is the 51 car. He's the 3rd car in there. So those 3 guys battling back. Here's the battle for... There's the leader.
Now, they're moving through traffic, and I tell you what, they are doing some magnificent maneuvering, high, low, anywhere it takes. And now watch Tony Stewart. He may, no.
Well, what's happening is Kenny Irwin remembers the last time when he followed these guys. We've seen it. We saw it when we were at break. He went through that lap traffic with no concern, man. He really went after it. But right now, he's going after him the same way because he knows Tony Stewart's right behind him.
Something just fell off his car, Larry. I saw it fly off of it right at the end of the straightaway. Don't know what it was. I don't know whether it's going to make any difference, but something flew off, or he ran over it or something because it went flying to the inside of the racetrack. Well, we'll watch it.
Well, either way, if he ran over something, he has a chance that he cut a tire, and if it fell over his race car, probably it's not going to be a good sign. So, but he has been going through the traffic. He really remembers the last time, taking it easy, being careful. Believe me, he's not doing that this time. He's going after him. And right now, he's really attacking the traffic right there as he's right behind Burke. That's Jackie Burke. He's right behind him, trying to get around him. And the danger there is he's running so far sideways, he might abuse the tire.
Yeah.
He can't get too rambunctious, too overeager, and mess up that tire too early, even though Stewart's right there and he's willing to do it, maybe.
Now Stewart diamonds off the corner and tries to get to the inside of Kenny Irwin, and he goes into turn 1. Not enough momentum build up to take the lead, and now Irwin, yeah, he's going to do it.
He's going to do it this time. I'll tell you what, he's not very happy with Jackie Burke right now because He thinks Jackie should have moved over, given him that position, not made him fight that hard. Took him about 3 laps to get around him. And I'll tell you, that was a lot of time for him to be using up that time. Let's go back and take a look at the battle for... There's Jimmy Sills. He's running in third. There's 4th, 5th, and 6th right there. That's Robbie Flock in the back car trying to get underneath Danny Dryden. But look at Mike Bliss. He's going around him when he drops down. Bliss has done a terrific job running straight. And he knows how important it is to be running fast at the last. He hasn't done anything silly, but he wants to move up as fast as he can. So he's trying to drive a smart race, yet a fast race.
We've seen him do that so many times here at Raceway Park and at other tracks also. Just save the car, save the tires until it's time, and then make your move. But the problem is that there is so much distance now between himself and the leaders. He's definitely going to have a caution to close in that distance. But he did it here in May, didn't he?
Boy, he certainly did. And look at this. We're in traffic again. Irwin and Stewart battling the traffic. And look at this. He's caught. He's caught down there behind Chuck Gurney. And that was told. We gave Gurney a little tap. Happened to run the bottom lane is not good. That's Pat Abel in the 65 car. They both just went around. But the good thing for Irwin is that Stewart is following. He's happened to run the low group too.
And because of all that, there's a little bit of racetrack now between first and second as Irwin came through the traffic just a little bit better. But Tony Stewart now with clear racetrack once again begins to close in. They just put a lap on the 39 car of Ryan Newman.
These guys are setting a blistering pace. These two cars are absolutely flying around the racetrack. And they're, when they're setting a pace like this, they're lapping a lot of very, very good race cars. They just went around Chuck Gurney, Newman, Beachler, and so forth. So pretty amazing that they've lapped those guys already.
Jack Hewitt is still battling with Andy Mischer. They've been together ever since the green flag dropped.
And he's been trying to get around him. Mischer just keeps hanging on. Hewitt, we've seen him win on the pavement before. This guy is not the smoothest guy in the world on pavement. He's the first to admit it. But I'll tell you what, he is usually pretty doggone fast. Right now, though, he's having trouble figuring out a place to get around.
And Mike Bliss has moved into 4th position, and you can see he's closing in on 3rd place, the 75 car of Jimmy Sills.
Yes, he certainly is. That says, oh, he's way on the bottom of the racetrack. Clear down. The yellow flag is out.
The yellow is out. We have a car, looks like Dan Dryden is slow here on the main straightaway, and the report is he bumped the wall.
Yeah, he's got a little white sidewall there. You can see it. He's shaking the car back and forth to see if it's okay. Dryden was slowing up. I think the handling was going away just a little bit on that car. Time in the next 18 laps trying to catch up with him.
And Kenny Irwin Jr. has not necessarily been burning up his tires moving through lap traffic, so I don't think his tires are any worse than Jimmy Sills right now. He has a 5-second lead, and unless things in the next 17 laps go really wrong for Kenny Irwin, I'm not sure that Jimmy Sills can catch him. He may have a yellow. It's going
to take a yellow, or it's going to take a bunch of lap traffic that really messes Kenny Irwin up. And you can see right here that Kenny Irwin's trying to get through the lap traffic, and he's not being timid like he was the last time. He's not waiting on him. He's going right after him and getting by him very, very quickly, and hoping that the other guys are going to have to attack them equally as quick in order to catch him.
Well, he just put a lap on Heber. Now he tries to go to the inside of Dave Darland, and successfully does so. So he puts another lap on Dave Darland, and Kenny Irwin Jr. completes lap number 85. We've got 15 more laps to go in this DuPont 100.
He's driven an almost flawless race. Not only when Tony Stewart was pressuring him in traffic earlier, he could have lost his cool, he could have done something silly. He did not. He attacked the traffic. He got through it very, very well. And even when Stewart fell out, he did not lollygag around. He didn't just follow those guys around. He still attacked the traffic, remembering very well what happened last time when he did not do that.
Kenny Irwin Jr. has 3 Silver Crown wins to his credit. He has not won this year. He's looking for his first win of the series, although he does have the points lead at the moment, and he's got now 13 more laps to go.
Well, Jimmy Sills is close in a half second. He's only 4.5 seconds behind now.
And look how far Bliss has dropped back from Sills.
Yeah, I think Bliss has used his tire up. I think he's pretty well used that thing up trying to catch Kenny Irwin a little earlier. And I think right now it looks like Jimmy Sills is going to be the challenger as he has gained a half a second. But I'll tell you, there's not very many laps to go. And he's still got, well, almost a full straightaway to go catch it.
Just 12 more laps to go for this guy, Kenny Irwin Jr., and he'll have the victory here in Indianapolis Raceway Park, leading off 3 straight nights of exciting competition that we'll have for you on ESPN2 tonight, and the next 2 nights on ESPN. The Cummins 200 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series tomorrow night, and the Busch Grand National Race on Friday night. Here's Dave Despain.
This is the car owner, Fred Eade. It's his car out front. Hey, man, you nervous or you happy? Oh, man, after the last race, anything can happen. We're got our fingers crossed all the way. All right, he's hoping for no replay of what happened here in the last race. That's the owner. His driver looks to me to be out of danger. That's Fred Eade. As Kenny Irwin Jr. heads her for home.
And he is indeed headed for home now with less than 10 laps to go. Things are looking pretty good for Kenny at the moment.
I got to tell you, though, in the last race, he had a straightaway lead with 2 laps to go, and it still got beat. And I'm sure he's thinking about that a heck of a lot more than I am right now when he's attacking this traffic. That's lap traffic. That is Jack Hewitt that he's getting ready to lap, and Hewitt is running up in the top 5 or 6 positions, I think.
And he just passed Kenneth Nichols back there in the red car, number 51. 8 laps to go, and this one will be history. Let's look at the interval now. There's Jimmy Sills, and you can see it's again almost a 5-second lead, 4.97-second lead according to our unofficial calculations. Back inside with Jack Hewitt.
Yeah, Jack Hewitt's trying to keep up with him, just can't do it. And you know, Kenny Irwin very much has this thing. And Kenneth Nichols got way sideways coming off of 4 down there. As we can see him, there's the interval back to Jimmy Sills, and he's holding right about 5 seconds. He's just not able to gain. He gained a little bit of traffic and then loses it when he catches that same traffic. And Kenny Irwin has just driven a flawless race, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to catch him at this point.
And remember, Kenny is going to head for Belleville, Kansas, and participate in the 19th annual Belleville Nationals coming up beginning tomorrow night as the United States Auto Club sanctions that event for the very first time. We're watching Eric Gordon there in the 25 car, and he's doing a great job.
He's working on Donnie Beechler right there. He has done a very good job. He's remained on the lead lap all night long, and right now running in about 6th position. He's in 5th position, we're being told, at this point. So he's up in 5th position.
Real good run for Eric, and may have a future in this car.
Well, I think he and Glenn Neibel are going to get along just fine. He's done a nice job. He kept the car nice and straight all day, all night long. And look at Hewitt working on Kenny, on Chuck Gurney, baby. He was all over there. Look at that. He went down to the bottom. He's up to the top. Now he said, thanks, man, for moving over.
Gurney waved him around, though. He said, go ahead and pass me. You're a lot faster than I am, and I'm not going to lose very much by letting you go around. Now, with 3 laps to go here,
there's first, there's second, there's still the 75 car. He's in second. We never did see Mike Bliss come by. He was in 3rd position. So there's quite a distance from first, second to 3rd. Robbie Flock still running in 4th position. And then Andy Michener's actually running in 5th right now.
And Hewitt is about to get lapped. Look at Sills go to the high side of the racetrack, and now diamond down off the corner, as we've seen so much. And he successfully passes Jack Hewitt and puts him a lap down. But the big story is that there is a lap and a half to go for Kenny Irwin Jr.
Kenny Irwin Jr. done a great job, and I'm sure he's much happier with this ride than he was the last time. He's not going to make the mistakes, although look at all the lap traffic that he's got in front of him.
Whoa,
what does he do now?
He doesn't want to make a mistake.
Oh, before he say that, he gets all sideways.
Goodness, trying to get around Paul Durant. The car completely sideways in the second corner is not going to hurt his chances of winning, though. He's still going to pull off the victory, but man, oh man, what a chance he took there on the last lap. Here he comes off the corner. Kenny Irwin Jr. wins the DuPont 100. Jimmy Sills comes around and finishes in 2nd position.
Yeah, nice job by him. Look at how happy his guys are. I don't blame him. That kid did one heck of a job, and that wins M&L Plumbing car. That's a great, great victory for him after what happened to him here the last time.
And look, Ma, no hands down the backstretch. We'll come back and talk with him in just a minute. Mike Bliss finishes 3rd. Kenny Irwin Jr., your winner here in the first of 3 consecutive nights of racing at Indianapolis Raceway Park.